Hi, good morning, my beautiful viewers. How are you folks doing this morning? Today's date is April 15, 2026. And I'm going to continue what I was saying when I was talking about the food crisis that's basically awaits the entire globe. And I'm going to get a little bit further into it. Now, Nine Point is a company that actually keep a track of the global reserve of oil that's stored above ground in oil field around the world in tankers. Basically, once it's extracted, it's go into this list of supplies where it keep a track of it. So I guess the people that's running the country, they have an idea of the amount of oil that they have in storage, on a global scale. When it comes to manufacturing, because oil is basically part of everything. This is very important for the elites that actually run the world. They want to know how much oil they have in reserve that's is been stored above ground. And crazy information that's coming out now is basically around June 15, 2026. Listen up carefully, guys. Around June 15, 2026, Nine Point, which is the company that keep a track of all the oil that's stored above ground on a global scale, is now coming out saying, showing people that the oil that's stored above ground is basically going to be completely used up. I'm going to repeat that one more time. On June 15th, 2026, basically week, I say going to be like around week 26 of this year, is indicating that all the oil stored above ground in reservoir is basically going to be completely used up because they went on to explain, basically saying what's happening over there in the Middle East, the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the oil that go on the market on a daily basis is from that side of the world. So basically, since February 28th, 20% of that oil haven't been reaching the market, which is basically 2 barrel out of every 10. So they've been tapping into the oil reserve that they're saving to fill that demand. And it's been happening now since February 28th, and they're still tapping into it. That 20% that's missing, that normally come through the Strait of Hormuz, that's no longer coming through, uh, is basically putting a stress on the oil reserve that they have saved up, and they're now coming out, which is 9 point, saying by June 25th, 2026. Sorry, not June 20th, June 15th. I'm sorry, June 15th, 2026. We're going to have basically on a global scale a serious problem with petroleum. Let that sink in a little bit. Now, over there in Europe, what's happening now? People are actually waking up, getting ready to go to work, and they're finding out that someone basically pierced their tank under their car and took out all their gas. So gas is now being stolen from people. It's a common thing now in Europe. And they're also projecting that the food crisis will escalate and get even worse, especially after June 15th, moving further into the future. The crisis will progress. And I've been saying this for a while now in my videos, letting people know that within the next 5 months, we're going to see something we haven't seen before. I'm still sticking to that. And basically, what I'm saying, what I have been saying, is what the experts are now saying. They're basically the same thing. We're headed to basically into a very, very serious situation, and people have to see it for what it is. People have to start making adjustments and starting to realize that things are going to change, and it's going to change very fast because of the fact that we no longer have our hands on the capacity of oil that we normally use on a daily basis, and that time is coming very, very, very soon. And oil is in car because of the plastic that make in the car. It's all over plastic. It's all over containers. It's in, they extract the particular gas from oil, from petroleum that they put in processed food. So food is going to be affected seriously. The grid is going to be affected because they need natural gas to run the grid. Light bill is going to go up ridiculously because natural gas is just the byproduct of petroleum. So if they're having a problem with petroleum, they're going to have a problem with natural gas. It's just a domino effect. So not just the price of food is going to go crazy, and the lack of food, where people are going to have a hard time getting their hands on it. Your bills are going to go up again. And I mean, it's really sad because when I put out this video, I read the comments. I'm hear what people are saying, and these are comments from people over in Europe, in Canada. I've seen people comment on my video in Africa. Um, I've seen comments from New Zealand, Australia, Mexico, South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and people are stressed, man. People are actually having a hard time supporting themselves and supporting their family because of the cost of living. But I'm here to tell you that those prices are actually going to increase again in the next coming weeks. And I'm sorry to say that, but I have to be transparent with you folks and let you know what's about to unfold. I am going to repeat myself what I said once again. Um, Starting June 15, 2026, where the oil reserve stored in tanks above ground will be completely used up on a global scale. Think about that a sec first. Think about it, folks. All the oil reserve that's stored above ground will be completely used up if what's happening over there on the Strait of Hormuz is still happening. This is where we're headed to. So it's going to create lack of food, which is going to create hunger, which is going to create death. It's a domino effect. It's going to create crimes on a level probably you haven't seen before. It's already started because in Europe, as I said before, the most common thing now, the trend in Europe is to wake up with no gas in your car and a hole in, and there's a huge hole under your car in the gas tank because someone stole it. They drill right into it, take your gas. It's crazy, right? People are stealing gas from people's car. And I'm sure it's not just happening in Europe, it's happening over here in the US also, but maybe more in Europe than here because the petroleum in Europe, ooh, it's a lot higher. It is. So the stress level to buy these necessities that we need for everyday life due to the matrix that we live in, it's getting very expensive. It's not that we need it. We just need that particular necessity because of the matrix and the way our life is set up. But we've lived life before without petroleum as Homo sapiens, and we can live it in the future without it again because we've done it before. It is what it is. Everything that we're doing is on a cyclical cycle. But guys, I'm just urging people once again, this is not about spreading fear or try to, you know, make try to create mass hysteria. Nothing like that, guys. I'm just making you folks aware, man, because we're going into some really, really strange times here where things are starting to unfold in a way where, again, we hadn't seen before. But if we take the proper precaution, the proper steps, for example, storing food, storing the necessities that we need to live, food, water, stuff like that, and stop putting our money towards stuff that we can't eat. You can't eat a concert ticket. You can't eat a movie ticket. You don't have to go out and watch a movie this year. I'm sorry, folks. You don't have to. You got a TV at your house. You got electricity already that you're already paying for. Go put a movie on the TV for the kids or something. These are the things that people need to start doing and start realizing that yes, we have to make sacrifices because if we don't make the necessary sacrifice, we're not going to live through this. What's about to unfold? But once again, I do believe it's going to happen. We're going to see a serious crisis with petroleum, and it's going to affect the food supply, transportation supply. It's going to affect every sector of our life, even our bills. So again, folks, get ready. It's about to get real this year, and starting June 15, 2026. 9 Point, the company who keep a track of oil reserve that's been stored above ground, is now saying after that date, moving forward, all the oil on the global scale will be used up. Think about it a sec. Ciao.